Hi, I'm Chimera Divine, and today I have with me Voracious One.
Hello.
Today, what I would like to discuss is a series of events that started out as just a simple stop at a Sunoco's gas station. Okay, on January 11th, 2012, it was shortly after the 11 o'clock hour. You know, we had attended the men's pool game where it was Piff, Jammer, Voracious One, and myself as well. They had a nice game. After the game was over, we had decided to stop by the Sunoco's to get some gas. While there, I witnessed some of the most plain out blatant racist insults from this Sunoco employee. It was unbelievable. I could not believe my ears at the things that this man was saying. I mean, you wouldn't believe that these things would be said in a public place by an employee of a business to a customer of the business for no apparent reason, because he was in a bad mood. It wasn't like a statement. It was a rant of things that was said and done there. It wasn't just left at words. He proceeded to use mace. It was just an outright terrible experience. Terrible experience. What baffles me about the whole situation is I just finished listening to a very, very disturbing audio recording. And I just want my viewers, I just want you all to share with me the experience that I experienced listening to this audio, and experience that this is still taking place now in 2012. This is it's unbelievable. You won't believe it. But at this point, I'll go to this. Okay, the court date took place on March 15th of 2012. Okay, there was the court date. I was not present myself. As I said, I just experienced the recording. But from the recording alone, you could tell that there was even more inappropriate, irate, the behavior from city officials. This is not from a jury. This is not from the defendant, the plaintiff. Well, yeah, the defendant, lied under oath, but the plaintiff had to witness this. You go to the system for help, for justice, and this is how you're treated. You will not believe what you will hear. Okay, like I said, I myself was not there for the court hearing, but I do have here with me today Voracious One, who will like to enlighten us all on the situation that took place inside the courtroom on March 15th of 2012. Voracious One, would you care to enlighten us with the details of what took place in that courtroom on March 15th of 2012?
I would love to. Okay. Chimera viewers, we all, myself, Jammer, Piff, we all went to court together. Chimera, like she said, she was unable to make it. We go into the courtroom, we had to wait for maybe about 5-10 minutes. The police officer who initially, I guess, showed up on the scene told us we can go in. We went in. We were sworn in, raised our right hand. We swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth. Everyone who was testifying that day had to get up and be sworn in, which we all did.
That's proper procedure. I would take you in a courtroom. You would swear in to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth, which means the truth. No lies, no embellishment.
Right.
Okay, continue. I do apologize.
Okay, we're there. The judge tells us first, of course, it's the police officer who showed up on the scene. He tells his side of the story, what he was, because there was a videotape. The Sunoco owner provided a videotape to the police officers for evidence, which was a good thing for us, because whatever happened there, it showed that it was all the work of the employee, whatever outcome what it was. However, the police officer started saying, you know, what happened and, you know, what he was told, because of course he wasn't there
not
also.
On the scene.
So he started saying what he was told. Then he went on to say that he did see the videotape, and he didn't say exactly what he saw on the videotape at the beginning, but he did say, oh, he saw us walking back in and out the store, and like he went all the way to the end of the tape, like he pressed fast forward and said, okay, let's see this, let's look at it from this part, which is not what's supposed to happen, because when you work in the law,
right,
you are supposed to serve justice.
Exactly.
You cannot serve proper justice if you do not do your proper investigation,
Correct.
which I'm sure he did not do from his words in court. Then after he spoke, it went on to the employee that worked at Sunoco. He told his story and his side of what happened. He stumbled, he muttered, and he really couldn't say what happened. He did say that he may not have said everything in a tone and been nice about it, but he really couldn't say what happened that day, because the words that came out of his mouth that night, it should not. He most likely is ashamed to even say them again.
To repeat them. Repeat what was said.
He said them that night loud and clear. It was patrons in the store,
yes,
people with us. Other patrons couldn't understand what happened and why is he talking like this. Everybody in the store that night was appalled. He actually, and to be totally honest, he actually started out talking to me. When we stopped at the gas station, like Kamara said, to get gas, Jammer made a mistake and told the guy the wrong pump, which is an honest mistake. Yeah. So I was at the car waiting to pump the gas, and then I'm noticing the pump is not coming on. I went to the door. I opened the door, and I said, did you turn on the pump at pump number 3? So he said, oh, I turned on the pump at 2 because that's what the guy said. So I said, well, there's no car at 2. I said, but we're at pump 3. And then that's when he started from there. That's his first. I don't use foul language, and I'm not going to start right now just to prove a point on the show, but his language to me is irate. I really never deal with anybody being in a disrespect form or when they're talking to me or anything like that. So, yes, I was appalled. And now, when I go into stores and stuff, and dealing with the customer service people, I'm not sure how they're going to react, because I feel a way since that day.
Yes.
Because it was totally inappropriate on an innocent mistake.
Yes.
So that day so he went on and he told his story, but he could not tell his story because he didn't. I guess he didn't want to, or he didn't have to.
I'm sorry to cut you off. It's hard to keep up with a lie for some people. What happened is he told his supervisor a lie, he told the cop a lie, and now he had to come in court and tell the court a lie, which he failed to remember his lie because he's not always in the right state of mind. Anyway, I do apologize for interrupting, but do continue.
Okay, so he went on, continued to tell his lie of what he was saying, and then they went on. Mind you, as he's talking, I asked him, call the police. I told him to call the police. The reason he called the police was because I told him to call the police.
Yes.
So then he went on, and he's like, no, it was my idea. Fine. I'm not arguing about that in court. He went on to his manager. Judge wanted to know, did the manager receive a call from him that night, and what did he say? So the manager said, he said some people was in the store creating a disturbance for no reason. For no reason, really, people do not go in the store to create disturbances for no reason unless they're a bunch of kids, which you can see that we're not.
Exactly.
All right,
sorry.
Go ahead.
What I would like to say, though, is I don't understand. At this same gas station, he claimed that he had to mace someone and curse someone out and use them foul, vulgar words towards a woman because she was a black woman. Unbelievable. But when people came in, we won't go on race here, but white people went in and robbed them for a ham and cheese sandwich while they were not maced. But you maced an innocent person because you were mad because you said nasty things to them and they demanded your respect. That was all that, I'm not going to say, well, but I'm sorry, but that just don't make sense to me. Please continue.
This is why, and then we're in there, and the whole time while everybody on the plaintiff's side is taking a stand, myself and my husband are asking the judge, can we watch the tape? The police officer had the tape there. The judge said he doesn't want to watch the tape one time. Another time he said he doesn't have to watch the tape. The next time he was like, we're not going to watch the tape. And our question to the judge was, why not watch the tape? Because the tape will prove everything that we're saying today and prove that your police officer and your plaintiff here, who supposedly been so threatened that night, are the ones who are sitting in your courtroom lying, perjuring, under God's name that they was going to tell the truth. Yeah. So in this accent, this makes me focus my attention more on the judge than what's going on in the courtroom. Because honestly, and I ask anyone, I would like to know what type of judge does not watch the tape evidence that's right there in their office in front of them.
If it's submitted, I'm sorry, but if evidence is submitted, and it doesn't matter if it came from the defendant or the plaintiff to help either party. If it was, first of all, the defendant brought this evidence in. So if that was really to help them, then you would have played that tape. But you knew that tape was going to help the plaintiff. So you refused to play that tape.
It was going to help
the plaintiff. The defendants. It was going to help the defendants. But you were trying to help the plaintiff. But it was submitted for evidence, and anyone in that courtroom that was on trial could request to view the evidence, and it must be viewed. That is negligence. That is temperament. It's foul play all around. I'm sorry. Please continue to enlighten us on the situation.
Yes, so we went on, and of course we never heard it. We never got to see the tape, or the judge never wanted to hear the tape. At the end of everything, they asked us outside. We called our witness up, who was Jammer. He came. He told his side of the story. Usually, when a judge is, I'm not involved in a lot of court cases, but usually when I go to a courtroom, the judge usually is professional. One, this man did not have on a robe. I don't know how a judge is doing a hearing and does not have on a robe.
How are you presiding over an official hearing without
your robe? I don't know. Then Jammer's talking and telling the story. The judge is rolling his eyes all over the place like his lunch is coming up and you're taking too much of my time. He was very bothered, rude, fidgety, moving around and stuff, and would you go ahead and finish with your story?
Go and smoke his crack.
Really? I have never seen a judge displayed like that at all. So then I said at that point, I knew myself where this case was going, because the mere fact that the tape evidence that would prove that my husband and I were in the right that night, they did not want to see it. Why? Because he knew, the judge knew, and the police officer knew. The police officer, Earl Miller, we already had a continuance from there because he couldn't make it the first time. Then after he couldn't make it the first time, that's how our court date got to move to March 15th, which was fine. But come to court, tell the truth. You are a police officer. Your job is to protect and serve, not aid and abet. Right now, to me, is his name Earl Miller? Am I saying the right name? Mm-hmm. All right, so right now, Raymond Earl Miller, you are just as guilty as Scott that worked in Sunoco. You are just as guilty as Michael M. Mitros, who presided over this hearing. All of you guys are guilty of prejudice in 2012. We have finished with this. Everyone knows. Some people will never get over it. You guys, you will never get over it. You are where you are right now. You are where you will stay. You think you're going to have luck? No. We are appealing our decision, though. We are appealing your decision. And where we're going to have to go, where we go and we will see a real judge. At the end of our hearing, I did ask him. He said, we have 30 days to appeal his decision. And I asked him, I said, when we appeal this decision, are we going to get to see a real judge? And he says yes. So he admits to himself that he knows that he is not an honorable judge. He is not an honorable judge that can sit there and preside over any cases. The best thing that I would like to see, I would like this man, Micheal M. Mitros, and I will not call him, from where you heard me call him a judge before, you will never hear me call him a judge again, because I don't feel that he is a judge. I feel that he is a racist person who they gave an high official office to control and ruin people's lives. If that's the way that he has to do it, he can go back to being a police officer. I feel the police officer, Raymond Earl Miller, is less than what a police officer should be. He needs to be behind the bars that he locks people up in, because he perjured himself.
May I intervene on this officer, Mr. Raymond Earl Miller? Well, Raymond Earl Miller failed to do his job when he appeared in court to testify at this hearing in pertaining to this event that took place, whereas he spoke to Scott, the Sunoco employee, but he failed to speak to the injured party and the abused party. So how are you conducting an investigation and you only speak to one part of the party? Therefore, they told y'all that y'all were irrelevant in this case, that y'all were just going to pay this fine because of what this man did to you guys, and they just didn't care about your life.
Well,
that's not going to happen.
Well, they just told the wrong story, because they have violated our rights. Because when we asked Micheal Mitros to play that tape, we were within all our rights, because that tape was in that room for evidence.
Yes.
Because it was there for evidence, he was obligated to watch that tape.
Yes.
And since he did not, he himself violated our rights.
He violated his rights as being a judge.
He would be the lowest form of, you can't call him a judge. He's not a judge. He's just a person. That's why he didn't have on a robe. Because he's not a judge, and even he knows it. So I think, Micheal Mitros, you should just step down and let somebody who can really get up there and solve the problems, because you seem like you are the problem. And they need to put you behind bars for maybe about 10 to 12 so that you can think things through. And then when you come out, after the boys finish with you up in there, then you'll know how to act when you come back out on the street. I feel Raymond Earl Miller, you belong behind bars because you abuse your privilege as a police officer who is supposed to protect and serve. Nobody can solve anything on a half an investigation. When you half investigate something, you get half an outcome. So your half outcome, you're going to be out somewhere one day, you're going to need help. And nobody's going to be there for you because you are not a real qualified cop. So you might as well be behind bars, cellmate with Micheal M. Mitros. And Scott, your demise is going to come for you. Karma, you already know, it's coming for you. And we do know our rights. We know that there's nothing nobody can do to us. We are appealing.
That's good.
And we are going, and we are going through strong with it. We're actually looking for lawyers right now to take this case for when we do go in front of a judge for our appeal.
I would like to thank Voracious One here for sharing that very eventful, very, very graphic, animated recap of that event that took place. It's sad. It's so sad that this is still taking place in 2012. I won't go on a rant of our people that come before us to stop this from happening. And you would think all these years later that this would not be happening. I won't go into a rant, but I would like to thank you all very much.
This is a prime example of Jim Crow laws in 2012.
Yeah.
Can you believe this? 2012, Jim Crow has moved to computers. Now it's corporate. Now it's official. And it's alive and well and kicking in Uniontown, Pennsylvania.
Okay. I'd like to thank you all for sharing this time with us. And like it was said, please be sure to listen. Just take a listen at what went on in that courtroom that day. Share your opinions. Step forward if you would like to help in a situation. If you would like to stand up and be a part of the solution, because you have to be a part of the solution. You cannot be a part of the problem. We're trying to better America, and this is not the way to go about doing it.
Right. At the end of this, when we finish talking, you will be able to listen to the whole tape. It's going to be down, and you'll be able to download it.
Yes.
Thank you for your time, and you have a great day.
And thank you for your time sharing that with us, your gracious one. I'm Camara Divine. You all have a good night.
Solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. You swear to God in the last great day.
Yes.
Yes.
The officer that filed the charges will testify first. He will present whatever testimony he has to present. The evidence will be presented during the course of his testimony. He will also call any witnesses that he has. When he's done, each of you respectively will be given an opportunity to ask some questions if you feel relevant to your side of the issue. And upon completion of that, then you'll be given an opportunity to present a defense if you have one. And then likewise, when you're done with your testimony, if the officer feels the need, he may ask questions of you. And you can that. Okay? Do you have any questions before we start? All right, Your Honor, on January 2012, approximately 10:32 p.m., I responded to 55 Morgantown Street, the 8 Plus, for a report of an unwanted person. On arrival, I spoke to Mr. Scott Retchachar, cashier at the 8 Plus, who stated that an unknown black female and an unknown black male had caused a disturbance inside the store, knocking over several candy displays, and the black male threw a can of dog food at him before fleeing the scene. I observed the damage to the interior of the business and was provided a possible registration from the active vehicle. The vehicle came back to an address on East Kerr Street. I believe it was 33 East Kerr and Nicole Craggett. We checked that area for the vehicle with negative results. On January 13th, I was provided with a video disc from Mr. Bob Bard, the owner of the A Plus, relative to the incident that I just spoke about. And after review of the video, the actors were identified as Stuart Ali and Benny Ali of 29 East Kerr Street. I was also provided with a list of items damaged by both of the Alis by Mr. Bavard. The actors were charged. Any questions of the officer?
Go ahead.
Question. Why haven't you showed up to the house that night of the incident? No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Because I was actually sitting there recovering from the mace that was sprayed in my face. That actually triggered off the whole incident, the rest for that night in Sunoco.
The whole reason you actually did because I asked him to call the police.
And he said, call the police. He said that.
That's not. You have any questions?
No, I asked him the question already, but he's saying like he don't know. So that's not answer my question.
Then it was asked and answered to the best of his ability, I guess. Anybody question,
So being that, since, what you said, January 11th that took place,
Yeah.
how come no one have reached us about, like, our side of the story, but they were so able to reach us to send us summonses and stuff like papers to come to court and all this stuff, but no one took in consideration what really took place that night?
Well, because I didn't receive a copy of the video until January 13th.
And what did you see on the video? Like, what actually did you see on the video?
I saw you and your wife knocking over displays.
What did you see? Okay.
What did you see before that?
What did you see in the whole, from the beginning of the video to the
When
end
we
of the
pulled up in the
video?
gas
What
station
did
to
you
get
see?
gas, what did you
Right.
see?
I seen you guys go in and out of the store and then come in and cause a disturbance.
No. The disturbance was actually being caused. That's why we were in and out the store.
Alright, so on the whole video, you saw us going in and out the store. Did you?
Yes.
You saw me going in and out the store.
Yeah, that's what we wanted to see. We never got a chance to see the video. The lawyer definitely need a copy of that. Yeah. He's actually,
No, this is for a civil suit. I don't
yeah,
need
this
to
is
bring her in.
this is for the civil suit.
Alright, go ahead. I don't have a question.
Yes, you want them to.
As long as everybody can hear it.
Yes. Your Honor, I'd like to present my witness, Mr. Scott Regichar, who was a complainant that evening. Mr. Regichar, on January 11, 2012, did you have the approximate time?
Somewhere, probably when my shift started, a couple hours after that, maybe.
Okay.
So a couple hours,
Can you
12.
tell me what happened?
So, initially the whole thing started out over some gasoline. Somebody came in and told me the wrong gas pump. So I put the gas on. I had a line of people to deal with. And Miss Ali come in and she come back in, she's trying to give me some, harass me a little bit about it. It's always that kind of lady. Some people are just like that. They want to be like that every time they come through there. Like they front of the door. I told her, I said, I got you gas. I'm trying to deal with these people and help them and get them stuff. I may not be real gentleman-like about it sometimes, but, I try to be as nice as I can when I got a line of people there. And basically that broke down, and then something else said about something. And then he comes in and starts to say this stuff about, oh, we ain't scared of the police, and we don't need, you can't do, the police ain't scaring us, and this and that. And that's when I start to go, okay, well, if I ask you to leave again, in my head, what's going through my head is after I say 3 or 4 times that I'm going to call the police up front, and then, I hear, I'm not scared of police, this and that. Well, I'm reaching for my mace a little bit, and it's, that's just, I'm not, he walked all the way along the counter, all the way to the end, still getting in my face, and I'm just like, I'm not gonna sit there and do that. Sit there and let people throw stuff at me or whatever, who knows what would happen. But anyway, that basically went down, this and that. Just praying once. I didn't, want to mace the crap out of anybody. I just, I didn't even do what it said. I just felt like that might stop him enough to get out the store. I don't want no problems with nobody. And then when I did that, and I went back to the door to call the police. And when I did, I come back out.
What door was that?
That was the door that goes into the back. There's a door where the office is, and you can go to the bathroom back there. It's all the way back behind you. The whole other wall. So I go in, and then when I open the door, there's a Coke bottle flying at me and hits me in the hand and explodes. So I shut the door again, and I look, and then there's pedigree cans flying at me. And then pretty much, well, after I sprayed him, she started throwing stuff, and I ducked through the door to call the police. Is actually really what happened. I sprayed him. She started throwing and then I went through the door because I was just like, oh, you know, nobody wants to listen. The police are going to need you. Nobody's scared of the police. Well, she's scared of that can of mace for a second because that's going to be nasty. And, you know, pretty much that's when I looked back out and there was just stuff all over the floor. I caught them running out the store, the tellers of them getting out the store and getting in their car. And then Officer Miller pulled up a minute later.
Any questions of Rob? No. Any questions?
Yeah, can we watch the tape so we can see how fabricated, like what his story? Can we watch the tape? Like, I mean, we want you guys to know the truth. I don't come in nowhere to create nothing. Any night I go in Sunoco all the time, even when everybody else is in there cursing him out, he know, like he should feel like something right now. Because he know I always show him respect. And that's exactly what I was saying to him that night. I don't like people to lie on me, especially when you're under oath and you're lying. I feel that is a very disrespect to God. I really do.
The question is, when did you mace me? Before or after?
I maced you before you threw the can.
Before I hit you? Did I hit you at any time?
You hit my hand.
No, because I did my own research on Sunoco's laws and rules and regulations. And they said, the corporate office said, that in order for any Sunoco employee to use any type of force against any participant in their store, any customer, the person would have to actually have put their hands on the individual working behind the counter. And if you watch the tape, you did not see me touch you at all. The first thing came out of my mouth was, why are you being disrespectful to my wife? Why are you calling her this, that name, and this, that, and third? And it took me about good 15 minutes prior to after the gas was posed, when I realized that that's what you were doing behind that door. That's what you was doing, because the door outside of Sunoco was closed. So I could not hear, but I can see it. And then when I did open the door, I heard it. I heard all the niggery, your mother's a hoe, black hoe, go back to your black hoe mother, this, that, and the third. All this was coming out of your mouth. And the person who paid, the person who paid for the gas, who went in there the first time, is here. That's my witness right now.
We ain't telling outside of the story.
I did ask him a question. I asked him, when did he mace me? Before or after anything that I did to him? No, you didn't. Because I wasn't even in the store long enough for you to have say that 5 times.
Hold on. I do have a question. Who asked you to call the cops?
Me.
No. When you said it, who told you to say it? Who told you to do it?
I have another question. Do you really lie under oath like that?
Look, I'm not
Really?
lying. I got a
really
video
feel
tape
good
of it.
lying?
You got, and I bet you, and why they not playing that tape? All right, could I call my witness?
No, we didn't tell our side. We were their side.
Just Mr. Baltimore, the owner of the A-Plus.
Which wasn't there that day.
Mr. Brevard, on January 11th, 2012, or thereabouts, did you have occasion to be contacted by an employee of yours?
Yes.
What was that call regards to?
The disturbance in the store, in my business.
Okay. Did you respond at that time?
No, I did not come down.
Okay.
Scott said he could get the stuff cleaned up, and when I get in there that morning, reviewed the video and copied it.
Okay. Were you able to provide the police with a copy of that?
Yes.
Okay. As well as with a list of some items that were damaged?
Yes. I still have those items.
That's all I have for Mr. McCoy.
Do you have any questions?
Not to him, because he wasn't there.
Point and in Sunoco are you going to start doing drug tests? That's what I want to know.
Because we're not, listen, we're not,
That's my question. Is he ever, because I would like to be able to go to Sunoco. Are you going to start doing drug tests so presentable people can be working there?
so,
Yes, they do. Because when people are high off stuff, they do things differently.
yes, they do.
All right. You got anything you want to say?
Well, is it on us now? All right, I would like to call my witness, Dwayne Gordon.
Who?
Dwayne Gordon. That's the man who actually, Dwayne, yeah.
What's your last name? Gordon. Gordon. Go ahead.
Well, my question, we want to go get gas. I went in and paid for it. I told him pump 3. Well, I told him pump 2. We were at pump 3. So she goes in, like, excuse me, we're not at pump 2. He switched to pump 3. I don't know what was got into your man, but your man said out of nowhere, oh, y'all need to run with the fucking pump. Excuse my language, but y'all need to run with the fucking pump y'all on. That started it. She came out, pumped the gas. She finished the gas. She goes back in and tells him, look, you ain't got to cuss at me like that because I'm not the one who paid for the gas. Out of nowhere, I hear, well, you can go ahead and get out my store because all y'all do is use your food stamp card and all that. That race car came into a play. So therefore, she came back outside now. He gets up,
I never
that's his
made it
wife.
back outside. He came in.
He comes in, you know what I mean, because that's his wife now. Shit, nobody gets the race car pulled on him about somebody else's mistake. All you had to do was, I'm sorry, we put you on pump 2. In the discussion. My man goes in there, he starts going even harder about this race situation, about colors and what they do and whatnot, and not how to act. So, we start talking, he's like, yo, you're not going to talk to me like that. After you get the hell out of my store. So he goes in the back and he comes back out. My man like, you're not going to talk to me like that. Out of nowhere, he pulls the mace. Why he maced him? When he didn't touch him? I have no idea. No idea whatsoever. But if you want to blame somebody, it's on him. Can't blame nobody but him because there's many ways you can win about that. He went a total different way instead of saying, oh, I'm sorry, let me fix that, put you on the right tongue. Instead of, oh, you're black and all y'all do is use your food stamps, call y'all welfare recipients. Come on, man. That's not even culture. Now, that's not culture. Now, there's 2 sides to each story. You heard both sides. Now, it's up to you.
And
It would have been nice because even one of his friends that hang out with me with him
Oh,
all
yeah.
night was in there that night. If he was all right, why he's not here with him today? You know why? Because he said he know he can't come in here and lie under oath. Yes, I saw him. I spoke to him.
we spoke to him Friday night. And he told us the whole entire scenario.
I do what I have to do. I come in here, I do what I have to do. Every time I turn around, I always have to deal with ignorance. Yes, I'm black. Yes, my ancestors, maybe half of them used to be Indians, half used to be slaves. Yes, that is my card, and I live that in my life. Yes, you are white. Yes, you stole America or whatever. That's fine and dandy. Not you, your heritage did. I don't hold that against you, so you shouldn't hold anything against me. I don't treat you any differently. I come in Sunoco, everybody arguing, beating you down, belittling you. Do I ever do that? Never. Never. I always talk to you nice, I always show you respect.
And me and this man actually, hold on, calm down.
You know that.
And me and this man actually had conversations prior to that night, and he knows that. He'll always ask me, hey, so what's the plan for the night? I don't know, sit back, watch a couple of flicks, got a lot of this with the family.
I don't like ugly, and I'm glad you
And the thing is, and his right-hand man, the boy that's normally standing outside in Sunoco at night when we normally come, because we just came from our pool tournament, our pool match that night. So there was nothing extra going on with us. We came to get gas, drop him home, go home. All that jumped off because of that man right there.
All he had to say was, oh, he said the wrong pump, and that was it. But I gotta be a black bitch. My mother don't even live down here. She don't got nothing to do with nothing. And not one time did I talk about your mother, your sister, nobody in your family. Your boys,
And all that
nobody.
damage.
Your 2 friends that was hanging out in there with you, What they did, they left you. They left you in that situation.
Hanging out with me.
But you just said you had a hold on, chill. But you just said you had a long line in Sunoco.
It
But
wasn't
when
no
we
line.
got there was no line in it. But the two dudes that were sitting there that left right before we walked in the doorway.
The one that
Yes.
hang out with you all night, and your boss know who I'm talking about because if he watched the tapes,
He'll
he
see him
him
sitting there
with
every
you
night,
all
every night.
And then the other boy was the first time I saw him. Get it together. If we want to know the truth about the story, let's watch the tape.
Because blow by blow, we can tell you what happened. All that destruction they're talking about, honestly, all that destruction they're talking about, all that took place after the mace.
Yeah, I did.
After the
Right.
mace.
He threw, matter of fact, he didn't even, he hit the side.
No, I didn't. I did what I told you. I told you to stop talking to my wife. Because I told you stop talking to my wife like that.
He said, stop talking to his wife like that before we contact your drug dealer.
Exactly.
That's what it is.
I want to see that tape.
Only thing I want to watch the tape.